Namaskar. Today I will speak about Sahasrara chakra. This is the final chakra on the top of the head. With this video, and there will be another video called Kundalini Shakti, about the sleeping divinity in the lowermost chakra. We will complete the introductory course on biopsychology. I will be satisfied that you have got a basic idea why the practices of yoga should be done, what is the physiological and psychological basis for doing those practices. Sahasrara chakra is the mysterious, beautiful, wonderful center. It is the subtlemost. Here our evolution reaches the zenith. When the mind reaches this center, the mind merges with non-attributional consciousness. The mind flows and merges into the ocean of bliss and peace and knowledge. That is the center. Sahasrara in Sanskrit means 1,000 petals. You remember that the lower chakras, they were having vrittis or expressions. And there are 50 of those expressions. 2, 16, 12, 10, 6 and 4. You sum them up, they will be 50. Those 50 expressions, they can be manifested externally or internally. So you multiply 50 by 2, becomes 100. And they can also flow in 10 different directions. That is a little bit mystical and difficult to understand, but they flow towards the north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, etc. and also up and down. There are arts and sciences like Feng Shui of China and Vastu Shastra of India. They study how the directions affect our mind. If you adjust your house along the sides of the world, along the east, west, etc., there will be a certain impact on your mind. In China, they still practice. They build according to Feng Shui science. They build their buildings, their dwellings. So the mind is affected by our environment. There will be slight difference in expressions, by the external energies, and those external energies, they are represented by directions. This much I can say. So 50 by 2 by 10 becomes 1,000. 1,000 means also many, very many, great many. The total number of all expressions of the mind is in Sahasrara chakra. Sahasrara symbolizes the controlling point for all multiple expressions of the mind. So that is its function. We spoke previously that Agya chakra is the king, and the Sahasrara chakra is the king of the king. If one is Raja, another one is Rajadiraja, the king of the king. Pineal gland is the physical expression of the Sahasrara chakra. Epiphyse. Hypophyse is below, which is Agya chakra, and epiphyse is above Sahasrara chakra. That tiny, tiny, tiny little gland secretes a very tiny amount of hormone called melatonin. It is secreted in Sahasrara chakra, is also in many parts, in many tissues of our body, but mainly in the Sahasrara chakra. And that hormone, it is able to switch off and on hypophyse. And then if hypophyse is switched off, then all the other glands will be slowly calm down and they will be switched off. And then we enter into very calm, introvert state of mind. Normally we will go and sleep. That is why melatonin is known as a sleep hormone, is popularized as a sleep hormone. In meditation, something similar happens. When you meditate, at a certain point, you will feel that everything has become calm. Your body is no more. It has calmed down to a great extent. So this melatonin hormone, there were lots of researchers, and some scientists, they believed that it is the hormone of youth, the fountain of youth. I don't need to explain much here, because you can just type in Google melatonin and aging and read whatever is there on that subject. But I will say a few things. First, it is a very powerful antioxidant. It is more powerful than vitamin E, vitamin C. So it protects the cells. And if there will be more melatonin, the youth maintained longer. There were experimentations with animals, and they found out that with rats, their lifespan was increased by 20%. 20% is a lot. So if you live 100 years, 20 years more, with the regular intake of melatonin. But there is a fear also that generally if you inject something into the body will adjust and will not secrete its own hormone. So yogis, they are not in favor of going and buying pills and tablets and taking them, but they're in favor of boosting up their own production of the hormones. Yogis of the past have spoken of the mysterious thing which is called Amrita. Amrita means elixir of immortality. And it is says that in tantric scriptures, in Sufi poetry also, that there is a wine, and that wine is flowing from the top of the head. When you drink that wine, you become intoxicated, you become blissful. That wine you can access due to intense love towards the cosmic consciousness, due to intense longing for infinity. Anyway, I got a little bit distracted. So, melatonin hormone decreases aging. You age slower. It is also a powerful substance to relieve stress. There were also experiments with rats, poor rats, and they were injected with the melatonin hormone. And some rats were not injected and some rats were. And they were created the situation of danger. There were some wires with electricity. So rats would, run on the electricity and feel very stressful, very uneasy. But those rats which were injected, they would feel that, come on, be peaceful, everything is fine. So it is found out that it relieves stress. Melatonin increases when the sun sets with the darkness. When the light enters into our eyes, it will stop, it will block the production of melatonin. And then there will be increase of the extraversual activity of the body. We will become active, we will become, dynamic force will predominate. And in the night, when the sun sets, the melatonin will start to secrete. And normally people will just go to sleep. But yogis describe a special time. It is from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, called time of Shiva. At that time, meditation has mystical properties. When I started to do meditation, somehow I liked to meditate in the night. So I would sit maybe 11 o'clock and until 12:30 I would meditate in the night. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was, and I didn't think that I need to wake up very early at that time. So I would sleep next morning, okay, longer, but in the night I would sit it was very beautiful meditations. Nobody is there. I getting this feeling that only Supreme Consciousness and myself, and I'm entering into that mystic dimension. That was beautiful. So yogis long time ago they described a special time for meditation. I have many friends who are now quite aged, and they're living in India. India is still a developing country, so to put it mildly, not everywhere the ecology is great. So actually environment is quite harsh. But these people, they've been practicing yoga, they've been practicing meditation. They do age, but they're still quite good, no? Quite solid, quite strong. But what is remarkable, their mind is so youthful. How? When we communicate, when we are together, there is a lot of laughter, and I don't get the feeling that I'm with a person of 60 years old or 70 or 80 years old. I get the feeling that I'm with a youthful person of 20 years old. So much laughter and beautiful stories, you know, nice, beautiful flow. I never felt that someone is, you know, crippled with the age and boring, uninteresting, not anymore eager to live, you know. I feel completely youthfulness is there. So I believe that this is the effect of the yogic practices that improve, they increase the creation of this melatonin hormone. It is found out that melatonin stimulates the immune system. It improves the function of the immune system. So anyway, you can check it out in the internet. You will find out that it is all around actually. It is anti-aging, is the eternal fountain of youthfulness, this hormone. I don't actually know whether it is really the Amrita or there is some other hormone in the pineal gland, but my spiritual master, my guru has said, and then I have experienced it in my own life, in my own experience, and also I've seen it with other people who are practicing yoga and meditation. He explained that actually there is a secretion of the brain of certain hormone, but normally if the mind is thinking crude thoughts of materialistic nature, thinking of something of finite nature, something limited, then it creates such a chemical environment in the brain that that hormone is immediately destroyed. But if at the moment that hormone is secreted, you remain in the meditation, then that hormone will start to activate other glands, other hormones, and you will enter into the state of bliss. You will see, it is called Anindyananda Samadhi. First you will see the light within your heart. Beautiful light of brilliant white with a little golden color. Then you will see the light is everywhere. And you will see that you are merging with the ocean of bliss. This is how it is described in the Tantra, this state of mind. And then it can happen all of a sudden. Just you sit in meditation at that moment, and then hormone is created, and you go into that state, beautiful state. So all of us, we crave to rise ourselves up to this level. How to do that? How to train, how to take care of your pineal gland. It is also said that in the research that this gland is becoming like a full of sand. There is a calcium, and it becomes almost like a stone, and slowly it will just de-evolve. In the childhood is a bigger, and then it will just evaporate from the brain with the age. And then It's like a clock in our body. First, it regulates the light and darkness rhythms, so we know when is the day and when is the night. So when to sleep and when to function. Then there are seasonal. It regulates the seasons, adjustment of the body with the seasonal clock. Day-to-day clock, seasonal clock, and also lifetime clock. So when the time comes to die, that clock will tell us. And we can adjust that clock a little bit so we can prolong. And so how to take care of that gland? First of all, we need to maintain a strict routine of the day. If we go until midnight and over midnight, burning our midnight candles, then it damages the pineal gland. It is not healthy. It disturbs the rhythms. So when there is a maximum of melatonin, at that time we're supposed to sleep and we're supposed to rest. And when from like 9 o'clock in the evening and then up to 12 o'clock, there will be increase of that hormone. The hormone will be secreted, so you can sleep very, very efficiently. But if you go beyond that time, you will sleep, but you will not feel that you are getting enough sleep. Your brain is not resting, your mind is not resting. So going to sleep early and then waking up also early. In the morning, our guru has provided us with this instruction that we wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, and then also in the night we're supposed to sit and meditate. Utilize the time of the highest concentration of melatonin for the mystical meditation. So following strict routine, it helps to maintain good health of pineal gland. Then it was found that hunger is increasing the melatonin hormone. Hunger. And you know the practice of yoga, which promotes hunger, is a fasting. We are doing twice a month or sometimes 4 times a month, we are doing fasting without food and water. And that will boost up the secretion of the melatonin. Our guru has said, he said that when you fast without water, with water, you get physical benefit. And when you fast without water, you get physical benefit and spiritual benefit also. My experience after fasting is that especially we're supposed to do fasting, and then during fasting, during abstaining from food and water, you do lots of spiritual practice. And the next day, when you eat, you start to feel joy, you start to feel that bliss overwhelming you. And it is very often, many times people experience this, that after fasting, you enter into that state of bliss. And I believe this is because the increased amount of melatonin hormone. So fasting is also very beneficial. Vegetarian food, it was also found that it affects the production of melatonin positively. And non-vegetarian, it depresses. Then in the meditation, there is a certain, actually all kinds of meditation will improve, but there is one particular type of meditation where you meditate at this point. This lesson of meditation called dhyana is the highest form of meditation, very difficult to do, but if you do sufficient time, you will definitely go into samadhi, into the trance. I practice myself, I teach my friends who are long time practicing meditation, and then we share how we feel. Everybody feels that dhyana is the greatest process. You enter into the spiritual flow. Dhyana develops unconditional love for the Supreme. There is a moment you fight and one moment there will be attraction, and then you don't want to anymore open your eyes. And many times I see someone is sitting 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, sitting in that, flowing with consciousness. There is a saying in Tantric scriptures, it says, Jaduktam parama brahma, nirvikaram niranjanam, tasmin pramadana gyanam, tan madhya parikirtitam. Intense love to formless, unblemished supreme consciousness leads one to dissolution of thought, dissolution of ego, and expresses as the divine intoxication, which is called Madhya Sadhana. Spiritual aspirants, time to time, we become intoxicated. In meditation, you charge yourself with spiritual wave, and then you cannot control yourself. You literally feel yourself drunk. Sometimes a little drunk is okay. Sometimes that drunkenness goes beyond your control, and then you behave a little bit abnormal. So it is good if some friends around you and they will take you home safely. So that drunkenness will not damage the health. It will rather improve health. Mystic poets such as Ibn al-Farid or Rumi, Jalaluddin Rumi, they describe the state of drunkenness, divine drunkenness. I am so drunk, I have forgotten the way to my home. One time we were meditating. We came to India and we were in one mystical place which is called Anandanagar. And with my friend, he likes to meditate. He said, Dada, okay, let's go. In the night, let's go. We do meditation. So we went and we sat there for maybe 3 hours. And then finally, we stood up. He came to me, clasped me caught me like this. I said, Dada, you go, I go with you. And I was also a bit lost. So, and there was like 300 meters to our house. So then somehow in the dark we walked and walked and we came. Next morning, I asked him, how are you? He said, Dada, yesterday was wonderful. And I tell you, if you were not there, I couldn't get home. I got lost, I was drunk, I would not be able to come home. So that drunkenness is described by the mystics, is the beautiful serene state of spirituality, is the enjoyment of elixir of love, of immortal bliss. It is the work of our Sahasrara chakra. On the physical level, you can also help your Sahasrara chakra be okay by doing postures. There is one asana called Shashangasana. It will improve memory, will improve concentration. And it is a reverse position where you press this chakra. It will stimulate the nerves around, it will stimulate Sahasrara chakra. It is very good for the Sahasrara chakra. And also reverse positions such as Sarvangasana, shoulder stand, plow posture, Halasana, Matsya Mudra, fish posture. These postures, they will improve the functions of Sahasrara chakra. So, to summarize, how to improve? 1. Follow the strict routine. Wake up early, go sleep early also. 2nd, meditate. Meditate here, of course, when the time comes. Not now. Now meditate with the basic method. But the time comes when you learn the most advanced technique of meditation, which is dhyana. 3rd, follow vegetarian diet. 4th, fast. If the health permits, without water. If health doesn't permit, then fast at least with water. It will also improve your state, improve your health. And then develop the sublime love for Supreme Entity. Jaduktam Parama Brahma Nirvikaram Niranjanam. That longing for union with Supreme Consciousness, unblemished and formless, that love will lead you to drunkenness of the spiritual nature. I love to be in the spiritual path because it gives me youthfulness. I never feel I am aging. Of course, my body is aging, the wrinkles are appearing, but I am feeling myself a youthful personality. And looking around, I'm seeing just boys, the youths, the princes, not the old and painful people with pains and sorrows. I see the people with joy and bliss. I love to be amongst those people. This potential we have been created. The human body is the final vehicle of bliss. If we tune up that body and mind, it will be remaining so. It can be also tuned to be a vehicle of sorrow, a tool to experience pain and sufferings. So let us take this biopsychology seriously. I have myself experimented with these practices, and I testify that all these practices, they work very well. I'm going to summarize further. In this channel, I'm going to release a playlist which will be called 16 points or the principles of acquiring the psychic strength. So those 16 points, they are like instruction is towards the liberation, towards the evolution. And then I advise you to watch that also when it will come up. I will appreciate if you subscribe. That it helps channel to grow, and it is good for you, good for other people also. And I will be very grateful if you share sometimes, somewhere, this video. And I will feel most happy if you discover beauty and bliss within your own individual life. And with your own example, you will inspire others to move along the path of beatitude. Thank you very much. Namaskar.